originally designed as an ultra-sturdy and beautiful high-gloss finish for boats, but it can be used on a variety of other applications also. Try it on countertops, cabinets, furniture, and anything else you can think of. Before you start your application, make sure that you prepare the surface thoroughly. It must be clean, smooth, dry, and dust-free. In order to create a good profile for the first coat of knot epoxy, the final sanding grit should be between 120 and 150. Now don't forget to clean the surface with a tack rag or clean cloth dampened with a good solvent. You can use acetone, lacquer thinner, MEK, or xylene. Now that the surface is ready, it's time to prepare the knot epoxy. But before you start, be sure that both parts A and B of the knot epoxy are between 60 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the two parts are mixed, you'll typically have between 20 and 30 minutes before the knot epoxy begins to cure and harden in the cup. Now the time varies based on temperature, so make sure to check the data sheet for a better specific estimate. Apply a thick first coat to the wood using either a bristle or a foam brush. Now let the coat cure for at least 12 hours, but it may need longer if the temperature is cooler than 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the first coat has finished curing, sand it down with 80 to 100 grit sandpaper, then move to 150 to 200 grit. Now be sure to get rid of any brush marks, dust, or other imperfections as you go. Once you finish, wipe it clean with a tack cloth or a rag dampened with solvent and apply a second coat of knot epoxy, but slightly thinner than the first coat, and allow at least 12 hours to cure. Now that we've used knot epoxy to seal and protect the wood, we're going to use Knotathane to improve its UV resistance and give it a beautiful high gloss finish. Sand the final coat of knot epoxy with about 200 to 250 grit sandpaper and clean the surface like you did earlier before applying the Knotathane. Thoroughly mix 2 parts A and 1 part B of the Knotathane just like you did with the knot epoxy. Now, Knotathane has a much longer pot life than knot epoxy, but it does dry very quickly in warm temperatures. So mix small batches, work quickly, and avoid direct sunlight for the best results. And use a high-quality foam brush to apply the Knotathane to avoid foam particles getting in the finish. Avoid bristle brushes because they won't achieve as smooth a finish as the foam brushes. Once the Knotathane has cured hard enough to sand, typically 4 or more hours depending on the temperature, use 150 to 250 grit sandpaper to lightly remove any rough spots. After you remove all the dust, apply a second coat of Knotathane the same way that you did the first. And repeat this process as many times as you like until you get the depth of image and the finish that you're looking for. Typically 3 to 8 coats will do. And here is the final result. The knot epoxy sealed and protected the wood, while the Knotathane increased its UV resistance and gave it a beautiful glass-like finish. Now we used 3 coats of Knotathane, but you can use more if you want an even glossier finish. I'm Tiffany from Custom Service Hardware. Thanks for watching.